Every device you own has quietly become a sensor pointed at you. Your TV, your car, your doorbell, even the AI you talk to. And 2026 is the year the receipts went public. Lawsuits, settlements, and sworn testimony. These are the 10 ways AI is watching you right now, counting down to the one you can't opt out of. Start with the television. Nearly every smart TV sold in America ships with something called automatic content recognition, software that takes a snapshot of whatever is on your screen about twice every second, matches it against a giant content library, and phones the results home. Roughly 100 million homes. Streaming, gaming, even your home videos over HDMI. It got so blatant that in December, Texas sued the 5 biggest TV makers, Sony, Samsung, LG, Hisense, and TCL, and a judge issued the first restraining order ever filed against a television manufacturer. The TVs weren't hacked. This is what they were built to do. And here's the part almost nobody does. You can turn it off. Buried in your TV settings, under names like Viewing Information Services or Live Plus, sits the ACR toggle off in 2 minutes. The catch? Manufacturers renamed it on purpose. Nobody opts out of a setting they can't find. Your car keeps a diary, and it's not for you. General Motors was caught selling driving and location data from hundreds of thousands of drivers to data brokers who scored it and sold it onto insurance companies. Drivers with clean records watched their premiums jump and couldn't figure out why. The answer: an algorithm had been grading every hard brake and late-night trip. California made GM pay $12.75 million this May, after the company made roughly $20 million selling the data. Do the math on who won. Check your own car right now. If you ever tapped accept on the infotainment screen, you probably enrolled. Inside the Connected Services app, there's a data sharing toggle and a Request My Data button that shows you the file they've built. Some drivers who pulled their file found years of trips, time-stamped, down to the block. Hey Siri was supposed to be the only trigger. It wasn't. Apple paid $95 million to settle claims that accidental activations recorded private conversations, doctor's appointments, deals, arguments, and that some recordings reached human reviewers. The checks are landing in mailboxes right now. Amazon had already paid tens of millions over keeping children's voice recordings forever. The pattern is always the same. The mic was hotter than advertised, and you find out years later in a settlement notice. Every major assistant now has a voice history page where you can hear your own recordings. Go listen to what's actually in there. Most people find clips they never meant to make. Delete the history, turn off human review, and the assistant still works. It just finally forgets. If you work at a computer, odds are you're being watched by one. 74% of American employers now run digital tracking, websites, apps, screenshots. 61% feed it to AI that scores your productivity, and 2/3 collect biometrics, fingerprints, faces, even tone of voice on calls. The stress gap between watched and unwatched workplaces is 17 points. Over half of employees say more surveillance, and they quit. The machine doesn't care. It's grading your keystrokes either way. Your defense here is mostly legal, not technical. A growing list of states requires employers to disclose electronic monitoring. Ask for the policy in writing because they have to give it to you. And assume the work laptop is a glass box. The personal phone stays personal only if it never touches the company network. In December, Ring switched on facial recognition. Familiar faces. Your doorbell builds a catalog of the people who visit you. Then came Search Party, auto-enabled across the neighborhood network. Here's the problem. You never agreed to any of it. You don't need to own a Ring for your face to be in one. A class action says faces are classified and stored for months without consent, and Ring only canceled its partnership with a police-linked camera network this February after the backlash got loud. The Neighborhood Watch is now a database. You can ask a neighbor to exclude your door from their camera's view, and the apps actually support it, with privacy zones that black out your porch. The harder truth, the network effect doesn't need your consent. One camera per block is enough to log everyone's comings and goings. While you're watching your screens, planes are watching your house. Commercial aerial imagery programs now re-photograph 5.2 million square kilometers of America every year, 95% of the population, over 122 million homes, in resolution sharp enough to see your trampoline, your tarp, your pool. The buyers? Insurance companies running AI on your roof. People have had policies dropped because of what a plane saw. No inspector, no knock, just a verdict from 5,000 feet. Insurers have to tell you why you were dropped. Demand the actual aerial image, because you're entitled to see the evidence, and appeals have won when the photo was outdated. One common fix is almost comic. The algorithm flags moss and tarps. Clean the roof before renewal season because the plane doesn't knock first. There's a camera network most people have never heard of, and it reads 20 billion license plates a month. Flock cameras sit in over 4,000 cities, feeding 5,000 law enforcement agencies, plus businesses and homeowner associations. Your commute, your church, your clinic, logged, time-stamped, searchable. A California class action says the data flowed to out-of-state agencies illegally. 82 cities have ripped the cameras out. The scans continue. You don't have to be a suspect, you just have to drive. There's a public map, built by activists, showing where these cameras hang in your town. Search for it, and you'll probably find one on your commute. Some cities now require council votes before installing them. The contracts that got canceled? Almost all started with residents asking one question at a public meeting: who can search this data? All that commercial data has one more customer: the government. In March, the FBI director confirmed to Congress, under oath, that the Bureau buys Americans' data, including location histories, straight from data brokers. No warrant, no judge, a purchase order. The Fourth Amendment protects you from unreasonable searches. It says nothing about a receipt. A few states have started banning geolocation sales. Federally, still legal. Your movements are for sale, and the buyer has a badge. There's a bill that would close this. The Fourth Amendment is not for sale act, and it's been sitting in Congress for years while the purchases continue until it moves. The only real defense is starving the brokers, kill ad personalization, deny location permissions, and treat every free app as a censor. Now it gets personal. The AI you confide in, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, trains on your conversations by default on every consumer plan. You have to find the setting and turn it off. Last October, Claude's terms quietly changed. Millions of users who ignored one notification were defaulted into 5-year data retention. And if a conversation trips a safety flag, the triggers are not published. It can be read by human reviewers. Think about what you've typed into these things at 2 a.m. Your therapist keeps notes. So does your chatbot. Only one of them is bound by law to keep them private. Go to your AI settings tonight and look for the model improvement toggle. Off means your new chats stay out of training, but check the retention clause, because off doesn't always mean deleted. And the golden rule: never tell a chatbot anything you wouldn't put in an email to a stranger. It remembers better than you do. And number one, the one you can't opt out of, because it's becoming the door itself. Starting July 8th, Anthropic can require identity verification to keep using Claude, a government ID, and a biometric map of your face, collected by a partner company. Refuse, and you can lose your account. It's not just them. Age verification laws are pushing the same pattern across the internet. Scan to log in, scan to scroll, scan to speak. Every other item on this list watched you from a distance. This one asks you to walk up and hand it your face. To prove you're human to the machine, you give the machine the one password you can never change. There's no toggle for this one. You can't opt out of a login requirement. You can only decide whether the service is worth your biometrics. That's the real shift of 2026. Surveillance stopped hiding in the background and started standing at the front door, asking for your face like a bouncer checks ID. You can turn off ACR. You can opt out of training. You can rip out the doorbell. But look at the direction. Every year, watching gets cheaper and opting out gets harder. The question isn't whether AI is watching, it's how long optional survives. So, which one of these would actually make you walk away? Tell me below. And if you made it this far, the algorithm already knows you liked it. Might as well subscribe.